He is the groom, we are the bride. It's not that, oh, I just need to stop sin. No, it's fall in love with him and choose him over it. The reason why people can't stop, and the main fault of all of this, or what Satan done, because they're not falling in love with Jesus. They can't just see a life without their sin.
Know that it doesn't always happen overnight, brother. So rather than
Yeah. No, I know it's time process.
on the mountaintop and saying, "Hey guys, come join me up here. The view is beautiful," but not showing them the way to get there.
Oh, 100%. I fully agree.
Rather than value judgment, do what James says, value mercy over judgment, and pray for them that God can bring them out of their sin the same way.
100%. I fully agree.
You say a lot of good stuff, brother. I agree with.
All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rika, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect. Shalom. This is the brother Shabai from the GMS Denver camp. And see, I just played that. I was just live randomly. Wanted to see, I was going to pick on some TikTok false prophets. But through the Spirit, you heard a little bit of what they were saying. These pagan Christians, they don't understand that this truth is not for everybody. They try to assimilate everybody in this thing, and it's without realizing this is not for everybody, right? So I'm going to make this a quick lesson. I'm going to read Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, and try to make it as quick as possible. All right. But the souls of the Wisdom of Solomon 3:1, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them. And it's contrary to the souls of the wicked, okay? And anybody who's outside of this truth, outside of this ministry, would be considered the wicked, all right? If you're pushing, like those two dudes were talking on TikTok, if you're pushing that cracker Jesus, without any understanding, you're teaching the scriptures on TikTok, you're going to be tormented, man. First of all, you're leading the flock astray. Second of all, you don't even have the understanding, and you're calling on names and gods that our forefathers never knew. Okay? And really, when you listen to Christians teach the Bible, pagan Christians, they go off every single fashion. All right? They don't understand none of the scriptures. They talk about the scriptures, and they, Romans 10:2, it says, my people have a zeal, but not according to knowledge. And that's all of the Israelites who are stuck in Christianity, who are stuck in pagan Christianity. It says, in the sight, and this is talking about the righteous, right? No torment shall touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And because we make ourselves holy by separating ourselves from this place, a lot of these people, they think we're miserable. They think we're depressed. They think something's wrong with us, right? And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace, right? You couldn't be more further from the truth, you pagan Christians, you people that look at the Israelites, especially, namely GMS, right? Because you have some of the Israelite camps that teach the false doctrines, right? They teach their doctrines are not sound, some of these Hebrew Israelite camps. But it says, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality, right? That's us. People come against us all the time. People, we're going to be in situations where we are, persecuted, because of our testimony of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But at the end of the day, our hope is full of immortality. It says, "And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For the Most High proved them and found them worthy for himself." You see? So you're not going to see these pagan Christians get chastised. You're not going to see their videos get cut off, or they're not going to get strikes on YouTube, because why? They're pushing a false narrative. Verse 6, "As gold in the furnace hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering." It's talking about the elect. "And in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble, and shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord Yahushua will reign forever." So, the time of our visitation is right now, right? And we aren't shining yet. We're not exalted yet, but we're going to have glory alongside Yahushua, right? When Yahushua are glorified, then their men will be glorified as well, okay? And right now, only ones who are glorifying Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua are the elect. They shall judge the nations, right? We're going to judge the nations. People say, only God can judge me. No. The Lord has set up men who are going to have the power to judge you according to righteousness, according to the laws of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua. And that's why you can't judge us, because we can judge you, but you can't judge us because you're judging according to the world, while we're judging you according to Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua's laws, statutes, and commandments. And we have that spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua on us. So that's why I think it tells you that in 1 Corinthians, let me see if I can get it, 2:15. Yep. 1 Corinthians 2:15. "But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet himself is judged of no man." And I told you already. Why? Because you judging us according to unrighteous doctrine, unrighteous understanding, a worldly judgment. Well, our judgment because we in Isaiah 58:1, it tells us to lift up our voice like a trumpet and show the nation of Israel their transgressions and their sins. And that's what we're doing. That's how we judge, by righteousness. Okay. Verse 9, "They shall put their trust in him and shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect." Right, Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua, that's who he cares for. They only care for the elect. They don't give a shit about these pagan Christian pastors who are not glorifying their true names, who are not glorifying the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua. They're glorifying the spirit of the world. They're glorifying the doctrines of devils. They're not glorifying Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua. They're not even calling the true names. So how can you glorify Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua and you over there calling him Cracker Jesus? You see? And that's why you're not the elect. He has care for his elect. Who's going to be protected in the Jacob's trouble? The elect. And when the Jacob's trouble picks up and chaos picks up, people are going to know and realize who are the elect. Okay? Because right now, it's cloudy to the majority of you people. Okay? I was going to grab a precept. All right, it's all right. I forget which one I was going to grab. So let's just jump back into the scripture. Verse 10, "But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken Yahweh." All right? And the phone chimed on that. Okay? The ungodly are going to be punished. Who's ungodly? The ones who are not calling on the names of Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua in sincerity. All right? And it just came back to me, what I wanted to grab. Ecclesiastes 17:10. "And the elect," at the top of your screen, "and the elect shall praise his holy name." Okay? And his name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushua. Those are the only names which that you can receive salvation under. All right? You call on any other name, you're automatically in the sight of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and their eyes you're looked at as wicked. Okay? And I'm going to have to rush through this because I'm over here at the plantation. But it says here in verse 11, "For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain. Their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable." Yeah, those pagan Christians that I had played right at the beginning of the video, their labors are unfruitful. They're doing the work, but they're doing the work. They're doing the work for the devil, basically. Baal. You know, and their works are unprofitable. Exactly, it's going to be unprofitable. When the Jacob's trouble comes, when the chariots show up on the scene, and they start calling on Jesus Christ to save them, there's not going to be no profit in that. They're going to be destroyed. Matter of fact, if they call on that name Jesus Christ, man, they probably get an extra zap from the chariot, because you're going to have concentrated fire coming out of those, what they ignorantly call UFOs. They don't even understand what the chariots are. Their wives are foolish and their children wicked, right? Because it's just a cycle. They've inherited lies, like it says in the scriptures. Our fathers have inherited lies. Well, they're just teaching their children the same lies that they inherited. It's the elect who breaks these generational curses. Their offspring is cursed, wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which hath not known the sinful bed. She shall have the fruit in the visitation of souls, and blessed is the eunuch, which with his hands hath wrought no iniquity, nor imagined wicked things against the Most High. For unto him shall he be given the special gift of faith, an inheritance in the temple of Yahweh, and more acceptable to his mind. And a eunuch, because eunuchs are men who don't have sex with women, right? And this is basically going into the prophets are looked at as eunuchs because the only woman a lot of the men deal with is Sophia. Yeah, we deal with women in the world, sexually, physically, emotionally, whatever. You might have a woman, but this is actually talking about the eunuch who is focused on Sophia, which is wisdom. Okay. So we're that's our top woman, right? That's our priority, and that's who's going to have that. And then also the eunuch, he's not dealing with those women represent doctrines. Okay, that's a metaphor, but that's a whole nother lesson. Let me jump to 15. It says, "For glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of the unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. For though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor." Okay, and that's the children of adulterers. We're talking about spiritual adultery. Okay, and adultery. Yeah, you can't be committing adultery. If you become your spirit becomes holy, and you start to you're part of the elect, you're not going to be committing adultery. But most of all, these spiritual whores, all right, spiritual adultery, going into these different philosophies, going into pagan Christianity, calling on other names that are outside of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Those are all people that are going to be destroyed. "For though they live long, yet they shall be nothing regarded, be their last age shall be without honor. Or if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation." Right, and again, anybody outside of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, if you're not under the hedge of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, if you're not sincere, calling on the names of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, you are considered unrighteous in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, and you're going to be put to death. Okay, you calling on the false names when the destruction happens and Jacob's trouble, you're in the midst of Jacob's trouble, and you're over there praying to Cracker Jesus. Man, the Lord's going to send some fucking UN troops to just come in and blast you and your whole family. So, just a quick lesson. Wanted to go in on Wisdom of Solomon 3. So with that, I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, want to acknowledge Al-Akim, who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.